intellectually that his ship was traveling out of the solar system at a tremendous rate of speed. But in appearance they were stationary, hung in the abyss, three men trapped in a small, hot room, breathing the smell of hot metal and perspiration. "What shall we do, Captain?" Watkins asked. Summers frowned at the engineer. Did the man expect him to pull a solution out of the air? How was he even supposed to concentrate on the problem? He had to slow the ship, turn it, but his senses told him that the ship was not moving. How, then, could speed constitute a problem? He couldn't help but feel that the real problem was to get away from these high-strung, squabbling men, to escape from this hot, smelly little room. "Captain, you must have some idea." Summers tried to shake his feeling of unreality. The problem, the real problem, he told himself, was how to stop the ship. He looked around the fixed cabin and out of the porthole at the unmoving stars. "We are moving very rapidly," he thought, unconvinced. Rajcik said disgustedly, "Our noble captain can't face the situation." "Of course I can," Summers objected, feeling very light-headed and unreal. "I can pilot any course you lay down. That's my only real responsibility. Plot us a course to Mars." "Sure," Rajcik said, laughing. "I can. I will. Engineer, I'm going to need plenty of fuel for this course, about 10 tons. See that I get it." "Right you are," said Watkins. "Captain, I'd like to put in a requisition for 10 tons of fuel." "Requisition granted," Summers said. "All right, gentlemen. Responsibility is inevitably circular. Let's get a grip on ourselves. Mr. Rajcik, suppose you radio Mars." When contact had been established, Summers took the microphone and stated their situation. The company official at the other end seemed to have trouble grasping it. "But can't you turn the ship?" he asked bewilderedly. "Any kind of orbit." "No. I've just explained that." "Then what do you propose to do, Captain?" "That's exactly what I'm asking you." There was a babble of voices from the loudspeaker, punctuated by bursts of static. The lights flickered and reception began to fade. Rajcik, working frantically, managed to re-establish the contact. "Captain," the official on Mars said, "we can't think of a thing. If you could swing into any sort of orbit." "I can't." "Under the circumstances, you have the right to try anything at all. Anything, Captain." Summers groaned. "Listen, I can think of just one thing. We could bail out in spacesuits as near Mars as possible, link ourselves together, take the portable transmitter. It wouldn't give much of a signal, but you'd know our approximate position. Everything would have to be figured pretty closely. Those suits just carry 12 hours air, but it's a chance." There was a confusion of voices from the other end. Then the official said, "I'm sorry, Captain." "What? I'm telling you, it's our one chance." "Captain, the only ship on Mars now is the Diana. Her engines are being overhauled." "How long before she can be spaceborne?" "3 weeks at least, and a ship from Earth would take too long. Captain, I wish we could think of something. About the only thing we can suggest." The reception suddenly failed. Rajcik cursed frustratedly as he worked over the radio. Watkins gnawed at his mustache. Summers glanced out of a porthole and looked hurriedly away, for the stars, their destination, were impossibly distant. They heard static again, faintly now. "I can't get much more," Rajcik said. "This damned reception. What could they have been suggesting?" "Whatever it was," said Watkins, "they didn't think it would work." "What the hell does that matter?" Rajcik asked, annoyed. "It'd give us something to do." They heard the official's voice, a whisper across space. "Can you hear? Suggest?" At full amplification, the voice faded, then returned. "Can only suggest most unlikely, but try calculator. Try." The voice was gone, and then even the static was gone. "That does it," Rajcik said. The calculator? Did he mean the Farason computer in our hold? I see what he meant, said Captain Summers. The Farason is a very advanced job. No one knows the limits of its potential. He suggests we present our problem to it. That's ridiculous, Watkins snorted. This problem has no solution. It doesn't seem to, Summers agreed. But the big computers have solved other apparently impossible problems. We can't lose anything by trying. No, said Ratchik, as long as we don't pin any hopes on it. That's right. We don't dare hope, Mr. Watkins. I believe this is your department. Oh, what's the use? Watkins asked. You say don't hope, but both of you are hoping anyhow. You think the big electronic god is going to save your lives. Well, it's not. We have to try, Summers told him. We don't. I wouldn't give it the satisfaction of turning us down. They stared at him in vacant astonishment. Now you're implying that machines think, said Ratchik. Of course I am, Watkins said. Because they do. No, I'm not out of my head. Any engineer will tell you that a complex machine has a personality all its own. Do you know what that personality is like? Cold, withdrawn, uncaring, unfeeling. A machine's only purpose is to frustrate desire and produce two problems for every one it solves. And do you know why a machine feels this way? You're hysterical, Summers told him. I am not. A machine feels this way because it knows it is an unnatural creation in nature's domain. Therefore, it wishes to reach entropy and cease. A mechanical death wish. I've never heard such gibberish in my life, Summers said. Are you going to hook up that computer? Of course, I'm human. I keep trying. I just wanted you to understand fully that there is no hope. He went to the cargo hold. After he had gone, Ratchik grinned and shook his head. We'd better watch him. He'll be all right, Summers said. Maybe, maybe not. Ratchik pursed his lips thoughtfully. He's blaming the situation on a machine personality now, trying to absolve himself of guilt, and it is his fault that we're in this spot. An engineer is responsible for all equipment. I don't believe you can put the blame on him so dogmatically, Summers replied. Sure I can, Ratchik said. I personally don't care, though. This is as good a way to die as any other, and better than most. Captain Summers wiped perspiration from his face. Again the notion came to him that the problem, the real problem, was to find a way out of this hot, smelly, motionless little box. Ratchik said, Death in space is an appealing idea, in certain ways. Imagine an entire spaceship for your tomb, and you have a variety of ways of actually dying. Thirst and starvation I rule out as unimaginative, but there are possibilities in heat, cold, implosion, explosion. This is pretty morbid, Summers said. I'm a pretty morbid fellow, Ratchik said carelessly. But at least I'm not blaming inanimate objects the way Watkins is, or permitting myself the luxury of shock like you. He studied Summers' face. This is your first real emergency, isn't it, Captain? I suppose so, Summers answered vaguely. And you're responding to it like a stunned ox, Ratchik said. Wake up, Captain. If you can't live with joy, at least try to extract some pleasure from your dying. Shut up, Summers said with no heat. Why don't you read a book or something? I've read all the books on board. I have nothing to distract me except an analysis of your character. Watkins returned to the cabin. Well, I've activated your big electronic god. Would anyone care to make a burnt offering in front of it? Have you given it the problem? Not yet. I decided to confer with the High Priest. What shall I request of the demon, sir? Give it all the data you can, Summers said. Fuel, oxygen, water, food, that sort of thing. Then tell it we want to return to Earth. Alive, he added. It'll love that, Watkins said. It'll get such pleasure out of rejecting our problem as unsolvable. Or better yet, insufficient data. In that way it can hint that a solution is possible, but just outside our reach. It can keep us hoping. Somers and Rajcik followed him into the cargo.